Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So my name is Sam and every single Wednesday I post more tips and tricks to help you plan your wedding. So stay tuned and we'll get right into it. Alright, so I'm sure so many people are going to say to you, hey, you guys need favors. Or what are your favors? What are your favors going to be for everyone? However, you do not need favors. I've never been to an event, maybe a wedding or christening or anything, where people have been like, hey, do you guys know where the favors are? I can't find the favors. Like, no one really cares about them. If there's no favor, maybe some of the older generation are typically used to it, but I've never seen someone be like, oh, that was a sucky event. They didn't give out a favor. Like, no one really cares. Everyone's just excited about having a good time at the event. So always keep that in mind, that people aren't looking out for the favors. People aren't there for the favors. People, in the grand scheme of things, don't really care about the favors. With that, we're going to go over a couple different ways of how you can make practical favors, or essentially just how you can do something in lieu of a favor. So the one thing that I suggest is doing a dessert for your giveaway or favor that they could take away. So actually, I'm going to link that up here. I posted an elongated video of how you can make a DIY dessert table, and it actually acts as a favor too. Just a quick little snippet of that. How it acts as a favor is if you have a huge cookie table or a huge dessert table, and you put like little dessert kind of takeout boxes, people could take some of the desserts to go, and you could put a nice little note saying, oh, thank you for coming, and now it essentially just acts as your dessert table, but it also doubles as your favor. So it's really beneficial in the fact that it's acting as two things. Now, in addition to acting as two things for a dessert table, if you really, really want to have favors, think about how you can double your favors as something else. So there we were doubling our favors also as our dessert. Now, for, let's say, my sister's wedding, she gave out little tiny pumpkins. So hers was at the end of October, and you know those little tiny pumpkins, you could get them in bulk for very, very cheap, but it acts as also a decoration. So if every single table, there's 8 people at a table, and there's a pumpkin at every single seat, it just makes that fall atmosphere. And she didn't need to pay for extra decorations for each table because she had so many pumpkins at each table. It brought the theme full circle. And then so many people wanted to bring those pumpkins home, so they actually took them. It was more of a beneficial gift, a beneficial favor. And for anyone that did not take a pumpkin, she got to decorate her home and she got to bring home the pumpkin. So it was beneficial for her too. Even think about doing maybe like little succulents or something. For example, like take something like this. Now, this one's maybe big, this one might be a little bit expensive, but take a small little succulent. If you put that around at each little table, if let's say you're having a spring wedding, it's going to make a lot of greenery, it's going to make it look really inviting, and it's going to double as a decoration. So keep in mind that you guys can double your favors as a decoration or double it as your dessert table. Now, to add on to that same kind of idea, you could also have a photo booth. Now, a photo booth, that could, 1, be entertainment, and 2, also it could be your favor, because every single time that someone prints out a picture, now they have something to take home. And that's the whole point of a favor, something to take home from the wedding. Now, if you want to go over the top and do more, maybe you could get little like tiny picture frames, even from the dollar store, and when they print it out, they could put it in the picture frame. You could do things like that in addition to just having the photo booth. But again, it makes it cheaper because maybe it's an expense that you already were planning on having, but over, by the photo booth, you could have a cute little sign that says like, thank you for coming, like here, feel free to print out a picture for, for a keepsake or something along that line. Also, sometimes people will have like a late night snack. So again, it kind of plays off that theme of doing something practical, and on their way out, maybe you could have like late night pretzels or hot dogs or something. So when they leave, they're full, but it is something that they're taking on the go and leaving. Therefore, it's counting as a favor. Also, I'm a big fan of like putting signs out saying like, thank you for coming, like, take this on the go, so they kind of know that it's a favor. So if you're worried about people being like, oh, there was no favors at that wedding, then at least that sign kind of shows it. So that could be something that you could do. Now, if you don't want to give out actual material items, whether it be food or photos, What you could do is also, if there's a charity that is super dear to you, you could donate everything that you would have spent on favors to that charity. So let's say you have a charity in mind, if you're going to spend $2 per person, multiply that by the amount of people and donate a charity either in your name or in the name of everyone that came to your party, but it could be something meaningful and special, maybe to you as well as your guests, and they might appreciate that more rather than just you, giving them these little trinkets that maybe they're not going to care about. Now, another thing that's actually been super popular that I think is such a cool creative idea that's not the typical favor is lottery tickets. You could go and get lottery tickets for about $1 and give one out at every single seat. So then they could scratch it off. If they win something, that's great. And if they don't win, then, it was still a fun thing. As well as if they don't take them home, you could take them and scratch them off and maybe you win some of your money back. So that could be something that is a little bit more fun and entertaining. Now, in addition to adding on to those concepts of making dual purposes and making your invites a little bit more, making your favors a little bit more practical, what you can do is, let's say you have a centerpiece. Maybe you put wine bottles or you put something that is practical in your centerpiece and then almost like auction off your centerpiece. So have maybe a game or something incorporated into the wedding where one person at the table will win that centerpiece. Now, if it's just like a useless centerpiece where it's literally empty wine bottles and it's decorated with flowers, no one cares to, well, maybe some, I don't know, but I would say most people don't care to keep that. But if it is something practical and you have like 2 wine bottles or 2 wine bottles with like a wine glass and make it look really nice for your centerpiece, but also make it practical, then who's ever at that table, whoever wins can take it home. Now, it's not every single person getting a favor, but it is still of that like favor atmosphere where you're kind of trying to win a favor, if that makes any sense. Again, it uses as that practical use because it acts as your centerpiece, which you're going to spend money on anyways, but then it also doubles as your favor. If you don't want to spend money on favors per se, doing something along those lines where it doubles as something else, those are great ideas. So then you're spending money already on that. You don't need to spend extra money on favors, but you still get to give like a favor, quote unquote, to all of your guests. Now, with that, know your audience. And I really have to say this because, for example, my audience, when I was trying to think of like different favors and different things to do, I said my audience is not going to care if they get a little trinket that says Sam and Camille 2021 and it has our date and it's all this like cute little, cutesy stuff. No one's going to care about that. Maybe my mom's going to care about that and each year pull it out of the cabinet and be like, oh my God, I remember your wedding, and get so excited. But no one else is probably going to care about that. They care about me and they love me and Camille so very much, but they're not going to care about that trinket. They rather me prioritize that money on the bar, prioritize that money on just so many other things. So since I know my audience, I'm not going to do those extra trinkets. I am going to do the dessert bar, and I personally am going to do the photo booth, and those two are going to be kind of my gifts. So if you want one or the other or both, you could still have that favor, but I'm not going to do anything else. And I know that for my guests that will work the best. For your guest, it might be different, and they might like those trinkets. They might like any of those items that you're thinking of. So just because in this video I say that you don't need favors and maybe go with some of these alternate options, that doesn't mean that you have to. Think about your audience and make sure that you use that into consideration when planning your favors. But again, I give you full permission. Do not worry about favors. You could do some of these things in lieu of favors, but you do not need them. So with that being said, that's pretty much all that we had for today. So if you guys did enjoy this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. Also, comment down below. Let me know if you guys have any other ideas for favors. What are you guys doing? How much you're spending per favor? I would love to hear more about that. Also, if you did like this video and you stayed to the end, make sure you subscribe. I do post every single week more wedding tips and tricks, and I would love to help you guys plan your wedding. So again, I'll see you guys next time, and bye guys.